Oh my god, bro. Yondu looks amazing. I would like to know where he bought all these clothes, cause he's. Hello gang, welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go through another summer uniform, which is Yondu. In my mind, it's one of the most good looking male uniforms I've ever seen, and the details and how it looks, it's amazing. But yes, all over my comments are, comments like Mysterio or Yondu. What should I pick up? Yondu, day one, you can say he's a tier 3, or if it was an awaken, if the character cannot be tier 4, cannot be in the top of the meta for DPS. So if you also check his kit, he's full of support buffs. But let's come here and explain why you should buy Yondu or Mysterio or both of them, depending on what you need. I'm gonna go through, explain every single detail I feel like could make you buy him or skip him, depending on how many crystals you have, and if you can afford buying also Mysterio. I want to share with you my personal improvement on my account for both of them. Where we just took Yondu, we had Mysterio. What Mysterio adds to my account for the day of ABL, you can use him or Yondu in the same time, and how much useful they are generally in the game, comparing their buffs with the other similar supports that you can use instead of them, and what makes them feels unique and you should buy them or not. So let's go through this. And before we go through that, guys, actually make sure that you have smashed the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so you can get all the shorts we're dropping, community posts, live stream videos, everything. So let's start from somewhere, and let's start from the kit this dude has, which is insane. He has a new passive ability that provides to all allies that are alien 50% damage against supervillains. So you can understand this is mostly for PvE, because in PvP, half of the characters are heroes, half of the characters are villains. In this current meta, most of the characters are heroes, so you can't actually take advantage of him in PvP, except perhaps some Alliance Conquest, target specific teams with him, like Thanos team or something, and put him as a support. But also accept the buff against supervillains, provide the buff against boss types, and gives an extra 35%. These numbers combined feels like more than 120%, which is insane. It's 115 actually, which is insane for a single character, providing this not from a leadership position, because you need to understand that characters like Nick Fury provide a better total buff, but you need to use him as lead. Here in this situation, we are not talking about the leadership of him. His leadership, it's pure trust. So the passive you're getting it just having him as a support into your team up. Of course, the reason that he is important and this support buff feels busted, it's that developers have they are really slowing down the progress on the supports we're getting, and the unique tag that Yondu has is also Weapon Master and Command, but you need to understand that Weapon Master and Command need to be inside the alien tag to be used for Wall Boss Legend. So let's say that some stages for Jean Grey, you want you to use some Weapon Master, you can use him and get advantage of him only if your main DPS it's an alien. If the main DPS it's not an alien, you're not getting all these buffs, and that makes him less usable for this specific stage, the Weapon Master and the Command. So let's go and see what other options you have for alien hero specific. And yes, you guessed it right, there are not that many options. and there is these two dudes giving only to Guardians of the Galaxy buffs, which is Star-Lord, Groot, and Rocket Raccoon. Other than that, there is Ronan. We just took Ronan, but the weird thing with Ronan and the trick here is that they give him a passive ability providing into his uniform, providing buffs only to universal type characters. So because he's only giving these buffs to all universal type characters, and the best character right now for this specific stage of ABL, that there is a stage you have to use hero alien, it's Gladiator. And thus Gladiator is not a universal, could not get the buff of Ronan. He only gets the buff from his artifact. If he has his artifact, you can use him as a support, but you can see that this support, it's so minor in front of Yondu support. And yes, the example of me using Yondu compared to for my Gladiator run, Yondu compared to Ronan, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm gonna show you in a couple of minutes. But yes, you can see here there is also Better A build giving you a support buff, and they trick Better A build also. It's like developers, they can't give a clear buff there. Ronan also has a leadership that I didn't mention, but still the leadership is not for everyone but only for universal. They did the same thing for Better A build. They give him a leadership only for fire damage characters. And yes, this is weird, I know. And in the same time, they give him into his support buff, a buff giving to all alien allies supervillain damage 35%, increase supervillain damage 35%, which is cool but not enough. So the only two characters exist right now in the game that can provide you any buff for this specific category, and you have to understand that it's not only that, it's also male. So the ABL, it's also male, so there's no other characters. This is only the characters that you can use. And for the first year of the game of ABL, actually in the game, it was no supports at all. You had to play without supports, and they're dropping supports slowly. Yeah, here, take a support, take a support, take a support. They did it for Better ABL after Ronan and now Yondu. So if you wanna play with anyone in your roster, you're using Gladiator, you're using Odin, you're using Thor, Star-Lord, or there's no other, actually Better build, whoever you're gonna use, feels like Yondu has the best kit for supporting, and the best character to play is Gladiator. So let me show you the difference between using Yondu in my team with Gladiator and not using him. Actually, let's not have the gameplay, let's fast forward. This is from my live stream. In my live stream, as you can see, I was using Ronan, it's down below here, Better build and Gladiator lead, and I managed to pull out 11.4 million. Of course, the gameplay that I had is on my live stream that I dropped a couple of days ago. Here, as you can see, I'm using Yondu as a support type character, and the score I managed to pull out in the end. By mistake, I swapped into Yondu actually, and as you can see here, the score I did was 12.9. So for day one that I did test myself, the difference between using Yondu instead of Ronan, when you have to understand that Ronan was only providing the artifact buff, was 1.4 million, 1.5 million for my account. Of course, perhaps the difference it's a bit smaller or a bit bigger, but having this huge difference can provide you extra reward. Of course, you need to understand that I was at 11 million, 11.4, so I managed to get the 12 million reward really easy after having Yondu. So this thing gonna provide me one extra chest of tier 4 materials day one. And this, in my book, it's really important, having the chance to get 50 extra Carbonadium or 50 extra Soul of Falting. So depending on your account, what's the reward you're gonna unlock. If you're doing like 8 million, perhaps with Yondu, you're gonna be able to unlock the 10 million reward, etc, etc, Other than ABL, his value, it's kind of limited because, as I told you, there is a lot of stages to use him, for alien stages, for alien hero stages, but this specific tags needs to be combined with the allies, with the alien to get them. So it's not only using him, you need to pick here alien, and after go through the ability and pick Weapon Master. Now you know which characters you can get in your World Boss Legend stage of Weapon Master and get buffs from, because if the character it's only Weapon Master is not going to provide any buff. So you can see here the list is really specific. There is only Star-Lord and there is only Gamora that can get advantage of the full buff for World Boss Legend tags of Yondu. Same thing if you go here, unlock this and go into command. You can only provide buff to Odin and Hela through your World Boss Legend stages of command, because all the rest of the characters that having the tag command cannot provide you, cannot get benefits from the buffs from Yondu. As I told you, you know, and you saw, it's for all alien allies. So it's not depending if it's hero or villain, depending of it's the unit that you're gonna use, the character you're gonna use, it's an alien tag. So from that you can understand if you need Yondu or not. There is a lot of supports actually to be used for alien characters. You know, if the tag you are looking for it's just alien, there is also Enchantress with a really good skill, you know, buff. There is also Ronan that can provide really good for Universal, and there is also Sif and Valkyr, which is two of the best supports in the game. But compared to Yondu, I would say Yondu is the best. It's the best, but his use is specific. You need to understand that it's not like you're gonna get him and use him on any command tag or any weapon master tag or any alien tag, you know. You need to understand what you are buying. These things, it's what Yondu do. And about Mysterio, it's pretty similar, to be honest. You know, he doesn't have any special tag here to use him on specific days for World Boss Legend, but the fact that he is human, male, blast and supervillain, giving him the unique ability to be used for ABL specific stage where you have to use blast, supervillain, male. And for blast, supervillain, male and alien here, it's tagged, so yeah, it's all species. There is also same situation like there is for the hero alien. For villain, Universal, hero, there is no other support in the game except 4 years old uniform of Cyclops. If you have this uniform for Cyclops, he transformed himself into a villain and there is nothing else to use. Ebony Maw is providing a buff, it's only good for PvP or against Universal type characters, and how it's called, Surtur is not a Universal type character, it's neutral. There is no typing on any of you know, Beast or Surtur in Alliance, Battle, Extreme or Legend. They don't have type, so this dude is not providing anything. You have to use Magneto in the middle, let's say, and after Cyclops and after Mysterio. And for your own information, my performance in the last time I did that using you know, the team I just told you, Mysterio as support, leadership of Magneto and Cyclops, was 12.6 million. And 12.6 million, it's barely getting the last reward, and it's on my account having brilliant raids on my Magneto and also having a brilliant insight on my Mysterio. Yes, I found myself using Mysterio way more than you think, because there is a lot of restrictions on the World Boss Legend I am currently grinding and I'm trying to progress. There is a stage for, let's say here, Jean Grey for 59, that you have to use specific supports, and I'm using him. But generally speaking, there is not a lot of characters to use instead of Mysterio. If you go here and check out, except this thing, you know, this is only for ABL. So for ABL day one, you know that he has value. Mysterio has value for ABL 100%. He also has extra value if you're like super new, super new player playing less than a year. You didn't have the opportunity to pick up Magneto from the seasonal event, and until you get Magneto, Mysterio is providing really good damage for ABX. I've seen people hitting 13 million with him. He's really strong as level 70. You have to understand that there is multiple, not multiple, but there is Ebony Maw, there is Madeline, and Magneto that can be level 80, and they can do way more. But for level 70, he's one of your best choices to go for ABX. But also, you need to understand that a really good value for him, it's the super villain human tag that there is everywhere in World Boss Legend. And for superhuman and for human super villain tag, actually, there is not a lot of support. There is Taskmaster, there is Green Goblin. Oh, I'm talking about male also, sorry. Yeah, there is not a lot of supports to use and get, really great buff for as a support. There is Green Goblin doing a really good job. There is Taskmaster, but Mysterio providing double support from his uniform, because his uniform gives you extra damage to both types, but also 30% damage to all attack, damage, 30% extra damage. I'm using him way more than I thought, and I found him really helpful. In my mind, if I had to pick, I would pick Mysterio in my mind, If I was there and I had only 1,700 crystals, I would say, you know what? I'm going for Mysterio, because Mysterio can provide, except the ABL day, multiple days of ABX. There also you need to understand that you can use its supervillain blast type, the typing, so you can use also Enchantress. But after Enchantress, there is no other support to use. So it's Enchantress, Mysterio, and Magneto for this day specifically. Or you can use Cyclops, but Cyclops buff compared to Mysterio, it's day and night. Cyclops provides only some energy attack buff, as you can see here, 30% energy attack to all allies, which is kind of disgusting, for 2024. So yeah, Mysterio and Yondu, I could say they have different values. They are both really useful. If I was you, you have 10 days. Go level 50, level 70 characters, collect some crystals from the challenges, and pick both of them, because both of them, if you wanna play competitive, in the top level of ABL, they are gonna be useful. If you don't care about ABL, if you're feeling cool losing the rewards from ABL, I don't, that's why I'm grinding. But yeah, it's up to you, guys. There is other options for both of them, but they are way worse. First and second, they have way less utility, Green Goblin cannot be used for a blast, etc, etc. There is a lot of restrictions on both of them, both Yondu and Mysterio for World Boss Legend. They have more than 20 restriction days that you can use them, and you don't have any other options for supports, and generally both worth it. In my mind, there is also the other uniforms in this summertime holiday. I already did a video for Luna, I already did a video for Storm and Psylocke, and told you my opinion. You can go find them in the previous videos and check yourself. But there are other uniforms right now into the sale, and because I have already buy them all in the past, I wouldn't buy them now, but in the past I have buy them, and you can see I had buy them actually. And as you can see here, there is like uniform of Iceman, Cable, Quicksilver, all three crystal wall. You don't want to buy any of these uniform. There is no reason for anyone to buy these uniforms. Only Summer Days Cable was good for being striker for Black Bolt. When Black Bolt was top meta, this was making some sense. But now you don't need him at all. Also, the Enchantress uniform, it's not the one that provides you the buff, so you don't want to buy the Enchantress uniform. You don't want to buy the Silk uniform. Please do not, trick yourself and go buy these uniforms. Luna, as I told you, has huge value. Psylocke too. Storm has specific value, I wouldn't spend any cent for Enchantress and Silk by this period of time. That was it overall, guys. I hope I helped you decide what you're gonna do with these bad boys, Yondu and Mysterio. Both have their value, both worth it, but yeah, you need to know some facts. Let me know down below in the comments what are you going to do with your crystals. Are you gonna spend on Yondu? Are you gonna spend on Mysterio? Yeah. See you into the next. Kisses in your faces.